Hello everyone, this is Sangeeta. In this video class, we are going to learn active voice and passive voice, which is one of the very important grammar lessons in English and which is also useful for 10th standard and 12th standard students especially. So please watch the video till the end for better understanding of this grammar lesson. So in this video, we are going to learn what is active voice and what is passive voice, the structure of active voice and passive voice, and rules to change active voice to passive voice. So we shall move to the lesson now. So if you want to master yourself in this grammar lesson, the first thing you need to do is you should know what is active voice and what is passive voice. So let me explain you what is active voice first. Okay, so listen to me carefully. In an active voice sentence, the subject performs the action and the object receives it. In an active voice sentence, the subject performs the action and the object receives it. See here, below I have written clearly using arrow marks. Subject is doing the action in an active voice and the action is received by the object. So we can say like this, no? The subject is the doer of the action and the object is the receiver of the action in an active voice sentence. So here I have written something in the bracket. See this? This is what very important in active voice sentence. So since the subject is doing the action in an active voice sentence, the subject is only given much importance. We focus on the subject only, we stress on the subject only in an active voice sentence. We give much importance for the subject in an active voice sentence because the subject is only doing the action. It is clear that the subject is only doing the action in an active voice sentence. So we give much importance for the subject in an active voice sentence. ஒரு ஆக்டிவ் வாய்ஸ் சென்டென்ஸில் ஒரு அந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் அந்த ஆக்ஷனை செய்யும், அந்த ஆக்ஷனை ரிசீவ் பண்ணுறது ஒரு ஆப்ஜெக்ட். ஸோ நம்ம ஃபோக்கஸ் ஃபுல்லாக எது மேலே இருக்குன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சப்ஜெக்ட் மேலே. நம்ம சப்ஜெக்ட்டுக்கு தான் இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் கொடுப்போம் ஆக்டிவ் வாய்ஸ் சென்டென்ஸில். See this example. The boy broke the window glass. The boy broke the window glass. The boy is the subject. Broke is the action done by the boy and the window glass is the object which the action is received by. Okay, so the boy is the subject and the boy is only focused in an active voice sentence. We focus on the boy only because he is only doing the action broke. So we give much importance for the subject more than the other two elements, verb and object. Verb object விட சப்ஜெக்ட்டுக்கு தான் ஆக்டிவ் வாய்ஸில் நம்ம much importance கொடுப்போம். So let me tell you once again what is active voice. In an active voice sentence, the subject performs the action and the object receives it. So we give much importance for the subject in an active voice sentence. I hope it's clear. Then we'll move to the next thing. Passive voice. What is passive voice? In a passive voice sentence, the action is performed on the object by the subject. The action is performed on the object by the subject. See here, I have explained with arrow mark. The action is performed on the object by the subject. It's like ulta madri varum idu. The action is performed on the object by the subject. So this is what important. Here the action which is performed on the object is given importance rather than the subject. So do you remember it? In active voice we said that the subject is only focused, the subject is only given much importance. But here in passive voice we give importance for the action more than the subject. The action is only focused more than the subject in a passive voice sentence. See this example. The window glass was broken by the boy. The window glass was broken by the boy. Here the window glass is the object which the action is received by. Okay, and the boy is the thing which is doing the action, subject which is doing the action. So here we stress on the verb rather than the subject. We give much importance for the verb rather than the subject. That's all. So let me explain you, let me recall it once again. In an active voice sentence, the subject is doing the action and the object receiving it. So we give much importance for the subject. But in a passive voice sentence, we give much importance for the action rather than the subject. This is what very important. I hope everybody understood this. What is active voice and what is passive voice? This is what very important. Then only we can move to the rules. If you know this, if you are very clear with this only, we can move to the next thing. So next thing is the structure of active voice and passive voice. So I have written AV, active voice like AV here. The example also I have written here. The boy broke the window glass. The boy broke the window glass. The boy is the subject who is doing the action. Broke is the action done by the boy. And the window glass is the object which receives the action. Okay, so the pattern, the structure of this active voice is subject should come first and then the verb and the object at last. Okay. So the structure of active voice is subject, verb, object. Next, passive voice, the structure of passive voice. If you see the window glass, the object has come here. Okay, the object has come here. The object of, the object of active voice has come as subject of passive voice. Then broke is changed to was broken. I have added a new word here, was, that is helping verb. So the structure of passive voices, object should come first and then a suitable helping verb. This we will be using based on tense, that I will explain you in the next video. So first object should come and then helping verb should come and then verb V3 form. Okay, verbs V3 form. Broke V3 form is broken. I have changed here. You can see this, was broken. So object should come first and then helping verb and then V3 form of given verb and then by. I have added a new word here, right? By. By is preposition. I have added by there. And finally the subject has come as object. Okay, so this is what the structure of passive voice, object plus a suitable helping verb plus and then main verb V3 form and then by preposition plus subject. Okay, now rules to change. Now we are going to see rules to change active voice to passive voice. I have explained the rules step by step. The first step is to identify the subject, verb, object of the given sentence. So, as soon as you see the sentence, you should do one thing, that is, you need to identify the subject, verb, and object of the given sentence. How will you find? How will you identify? This is what subject, this is what verb, this is what object. So you should know, for that you should know what is subject, what is verb, what is object, right? So what is subject? A subject is something about which we are talking in a sentence. அதாவது ஒரு சென்டென்ஸில் நம்ம எதை பற்றி பேசுகிறோமோ அதுதான் அந்த சென்டென்ஸோட சப்ஜெக்டாக இருக்கும். ஓகே, தென் verb. What is verb? A verb can be two type. That is, one is action word னு ஒன்று சொல்லுவோம், that is called main verb. and it is state of being னு சொல்லுவோம், அது வந்து helping verb. Okay, I'll explain all these things in next video. So now let us see the elements of sentence. So first you should identify the subject. The subject I told you in a sentence about what we are talking is the subject. Okay, then verb, it can be an action word especially, and then object, an object can be a thing mainly. Okay, ஒரு பொருளாக இருக்கும் ஆப்ஜெக்ட், அதை வச்சு நீங்கள் ஈஸியாக ஆப்ஜெக்ட் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணலாம். Okay, so the first rule is to identify the subject, verb and object of the given sentence. See here I have written with an example. For step 1 I have written example here. Okay, so identify the subject, verb, object. The pilgrims is the subject, visited is the verb, and the temple is the object used in the sentence. Okay, now step 2, change the object to subject. Change the object to subject. See here, this is what the object we have identified, right? So the second step is to change the object to subject of PV. See, this thing you need to keep in your mind, that we are changing active voice to passive voice. So the object of active voice should come as the subject of passive voice. You need to be very clear in this thing. Okay, in this matter. Okay, so the object of active voice is changed to the subject of passive voice, the temple. ஓகே, இங்கே டெம்பிள்ங்கிறது ஆக்டிவ் வாய்ஸில் ஆப்ஜெக்டாக யூஸ் ஆகிருக்கு. அந்த ஆப்ஜெக்டை நான் இங்கே பேசிவ் வாய்ஸ்க்கு சப்ஜெக்டாக கொண்டு வந்திருக்கேன். ஓகே, தென் step 3, add a proper helping verb. You need to add a proper helping verb based on tense. This is what is very important. That's what I told you earlier, that I will explain you this thing in next video. Okay, so add a proper helping verb based on tense. See here I have added was இங்கே நான் ஆட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன், because this is simple past tense. For simple past tense you can either add was or where. Okay, I will explain all these rules in the next video. Here I have added was here. I tell you the reason for this later. Okay, so was is the helping verb which is suitable for this sentence, so I have added was here. Then the fourth rule is, step 4 is, change the verb into its V3 form, that is main verb to its V3 form. அதாவது நமக்கு இங்கே கொடுத்துருக்குற மெயின் வேர்ப் இருக்கு இல்லையா, we have identified the verb element here, right? Visited அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணியிருக்கோம்ல, that verb should be changed to its V3 form. அந்த verb நம்மளோட V3 ஃபார்முக்கு நம்ம அதை சேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும். ஓகே, ஸோ the temple was visited. The V3 form of visited is visited only. V1 form is visit, V2 form is visited, V3 form is also visited. So I have used visited here. Okay, then hope you have understood all these 4 rules. So I am moving to the 5th rule. Okay, rule 5, add preposition by. This is also one of the important rules. So add prepositions. The temple was visited by, I have added there. Then rule 6, change the subject to object. So we have to change the subject of this subject, the subject of active voice to object of passive voice. Okay, so we have to change the subject of active voice to the object of passive voice. So the subject I have marked here. அங்கே யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கிற சப்ஜெக்டை இங்கே கொண்டு வந்திருக்கோம் அப்படின்றதுக்கு மார்க் பண்ணுறதுக்கு தான், தெரியறதுக்கு தான் நான் இங்கே இந்த ப்ராக்கெட்டில் சப்ஜெக்ட்னு எழுதியிருக்கேன். So that's all the rules. So the first rule, let me recall once again. The first rule, you need to identify the subject, verb, object of the given sentence. Then the second rule is to change the object to subject. That is the object of active voice to the subject of passive voice. Then step 3 is to add a proper helping verb. That you should add based on tense, I said. I told you that I'll explain you clearly later. So for time being you just know this thing. Okay, so the temple was, I have added was here because it is simple past tense, so that I have added was here. Okay, then the fourth step is to change the verb to its V3 form. இங்க கொடுத்திருக்கிற main verb நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும்னா V3 ஃபார்முக்கு சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிடணும். So visited is used there, that is V2 form. Here the V3 form is also visited, so that I have used visited here. Okay, then the fifth rule is to add by preposition by, that also I have added. The temple was visited by. Then step 6 is to change subject to object. The subject of active voice to be changed to the object of passive voice. That's what I have done here. So I have used one more example for understanding this thing better. So example, Ronnie bought some vegetables in the market. This vegetables I have used inside the bracket because I have added some extra words in the sentence. That is why to make it clear, to make the object clear, I have used the object inside the brackets. Okay, so Ronnie bought some vegetables in the market. Ronnie is the subject who's doing the action bought, and bought is the verb, is the action done by Ronnie. Some vegetables is the object which receives the action. Okay, so, I think you are very clear in this. So the first rule we have applied here. We have identified subject, verb, object. Then the second rule, what is the second rule? We need to, 1 minute. What is the second rule? We need to change the object to the subject of PV. The object of active voice to the subject of PV. I have changed here. Okay. Some vegetables I have brought to the front. Active voice oda object, passive voice oda subject change பண்ணியாச்சு. Then the second rule is to add helping verb. A proper helping verb we should add. So this is also past tense. But is also past tense, so I have used where here. Okay, so where is the helping verb? I have added here. Then the third rule is to change the main verb to its V3 form. Bought is V2 form. I have changed bought again to V3 form. The V3 form of bought is the V3 form of bought is bought only again. V2 form is also bought. V3 form is also bought. That's what I have used here. Then the fourth rule is to add by preposition. And finally it is change the subject to object of PV. Rani I have brought here at last. And in the market is extra, which you can add at the end of a sentence. Most of the cases it will be coming at the end. In some cases you can add it in the front also. Okay, so that's all about this video class. I hope you have understood this class very well. So let me explain the remaining thing in the next class. Thank you very much.